3.9, 17.9.
Yeah.
We're at 3%. And your expenses are about the same as they were in 2014. And I made a lot of adjustments to those expenses because I want to get a normal operating year. So you'll see in this report, there's probably 15 pages of adjustments. Not because the books are wrong, but I want to get it back to where it should be. For instance, there's a quite a big adjustment. The last rate increase went into effect, I think, in 2014. So I made an adjustment to bump our revenues up, so now we don't need as much as we thought because we had that rate increase. All right, so I normalized calendar year 2014. You'll see that adjustment. And then if we receive 25% grant, the minimum goes up about $3, $3-4. Okay, you see all that in the chart there?
But we have to pursue it. We'll know where exactly where we're at, correct?
The bids will put all the paperwork together, give it to RD, and at that point they'll do the review, and you guys probably look a little bit better than I do, but they'll obligate, they'll say, yes, this is what we'll give you, here's the letter of conditions, here's your interest rate, here's what you have to do. And you were talking about the debt service reserve. We have 10 years, so if your debt service is $100,000, you have $10,000 a year put into a reserve. Okay, so, and that's money that you will control. It's in your bank account, but hopefully we'll never have to dip into that. Once it's fully funded, you're finished alone. You will walk away from it. Okay, and you're talking about dip into it. You have to report. It's a reportable event. So I have one for the in-town and out-of-town customers on 36 and 37. If you guys have any questions on the rate report, you all been through it before. I don't want to bore you with it, but it has all the backup to the revenue requirements on page 4. And
Well, the main thing is we got to get some factual numbers that we can look at to see if it's something we want to even present.
yeah,
absolutely. I don't want to sit here and say yes, but this is a definite, because depending on the impact that it had on our customers.
unlike the last rate report where I did a test year and did all the adjustments, we're finished with it, this report will be updated many times because rural development requires current information.
Right.
So I've been town up north. I think I did 30 scenarios
Before the final.
before the finals. But I like Vince's analogies. It's like a funnel. I mean, you got so many variables. As time progresses, you get better numbers. You know where rural development's coming from. You have better numbers as well. So I have any questions? I think y'all have my
Well,
telephone
there's
number.
one thing
So-
that's certain, and that is that we know we need to improve the water system. That's the only thing we know at this point.
Before it becomes more, before it implodes on itself. We want to be proactive, not reactive. I mean, some things have already happened. Bob can tell you, we can't keep putting Band-Aids on it when it needs an overhaul.
And I think the other thing too is that you also, an advantage with rural development in pursuing their money is that there's no pre-penalty payment, early payment on any type of loan money that you want to pay off early. So that works in your favor, and I think you guys are experienced with the stormwater project. Any questions at all? I mean, again, this is kind of a snapshot, an overview of the efforts that have been put forth relative to the evaluation of your water utility, and then moving forward in pursuing some financing to pay for the improvements. And we're taking it a step at a time. We're at this particular step tonight to fill out an application, get it in the hands of rural development in Bloomfield office, and then hopefully with their blessing, they'll send it to the state office, and then that's where the rubber will meet the road as far as looking at grant money that we would like to see involved in this particular project.
I might just add to, once the project is approved, or if you do a project, there will be a public hearing on rates. They'll all know upfront what those rates are going to be.
And then if you want to mention before the other meetings, we are being a little ahead of the game here, not all the small communities were one of the first ones to go forward with this, as everyone around us will have to do at some point in time too. So if we get in there, start doing it faster, maybe, get the funds before they run out, before they're no longer there to, the grants.
Oh, yeah, and in fact, that's what we will be doing. In fact, we'll be looking at pursuing grant and loan funds in the Washington pool. That's where all the states that don't spend their appropriation on an annual basis, they have to return those funds by August 1st. And so that'll open up a national pool, and that's what we're hopeful that the monies that are necessary to design, building this particular project will be able to come from the national pool.
Will it have anything to do with the, underneath the ground, the pipes?
Yes, we are going to be upsizing lines throughout the system.
And looping, correct?
And absolutely
It's
looping, in fact,
Improvement all the way around.
They actually have a big chart up here if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of discussing some of
one of the big ones is upsizing water mains along US 40 west of town. We're going to increase the size to 6 inch. We're going to actually construct and upsize lines to the Lamar Hill booster station, replace undersized deteriorating 2-inch water main in the town, and eliminate dead ends. So there's a variety of lines that this project should be able to provide adequate pressure throughout the system.
It's not pressure. I got good pressure.
Okay. Okay, so,
And then also too, I think the biggest item is we're looking at a water treatment plant that's basically going to get rid of the discoloration of water, making a big improvement there. We'll sign them all. I think what we'll do is wait for the end of the council meeting, to get all the signatures. Okay, very good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Jared, water superintendent contract?
I did draft that, and as I was rereading this again, there's one correction I have to make, but I think Becky's had an opportunity to look at it also. But I have to re-put it in a different name on one section, but outside of that, I think it's prepared to be signed but the only thing that I did not have to put on is what months and time, as far as that.
Monthly, is that what you want?
Well, I know it was monthly, but I didn't know like when our term actually started, all that, so.
I officially started
Last month, right?
meeting when I was approved, because I didn't.
So, and I didn't have that information with me, so I just have to, I guess I'd like for you to approve this based upon that one correction and then write in the big state for Becky.
I need a motion then to approve the contract for independent services for water superintendent, or not superintendent. Operator,
Certified operator.
certified operator.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I just have a few corrections.
Okay, all right, thank you. Bob, you have anything under water?
No, just the quotes on the fence, and I'm assuming you want to
I'm
try to
sorry.
table that a little bit. The quotes on the fence for B&B.
Yes, and the reason why is that's part of the scope of the work that they'll be doing, and I don't wanna have to pay for it twice, so.
Another one on the waterworks, the new company that's coming up for $1 bill, I think it is. They need a $1 service line.
Okay.
All that's up there right now is 5/8. How do you want to go about doing that?
Well, we can go ahead and put the tap in and can we go ahead and set a meter pit, and just leave it shut off? What size are they wanting?
1 inch.
Yeah, I'd say go ahead and tap it, and then it's there when they're start construction.
Well, I'd like to eliminate the ones that's there. Also because the fact that the drivers,
So there's probably about 3 or 4 of them there. How many lots are down through there, Roger? Okay. Yeah. You might just check with, do you have contact with them,
Yeah, and they said they're grant,
what they
they,
need? Okay.
water line and everything.
Good. Yeah, just, I would go ahead and get that material ordered and get it tapped on the lane and have it waiting on. Because the way they talked, it was gonna break ground, it was into July, 1st of June.
Yeah, July, possibly August,
Okay.
2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
But we need, I need to, we gotta find out what size main they are. I'm not sure.
You have any idea, Robbie, what it is? Okay. Yeah, go ahead and get the material ordered and get it. Little leak sewer hookup too, you'll need to figure out where that's gonna happen.
I know where that is.
Okay. Get material ordered and be ready for it. Anything else? Need a motion to adjourn the meeting for the waterworks. Adjourn the meeting of the waterworks.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, we gotta talk to Jared about that. Need to call to order the meeting of stormwater. I read the minutes, I have no problem with the minutes. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting, or approve the minutes for the stormwater. Make that motion.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council, anything else?